You know, we're absolutely at the bottom of the barrel when Fenwick is hosting the show. I don't know how that happened, but here we are. Today, welcome to Office Hours. We talk about technology, and today we're going to talk a lot about audio stuff. But we're going to start with something else. I can't remember who's reading the questions today. Go ahead. Go ahead, Courtney. What's the first awesome question from Chris Fenwick?
Well, it's coming in from a place called Emeryville, California, where Pixar is located. And a guy named Mr. Chris Fenwick, where Mr. Fenwick asks the question, let's talk about subscriptions.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Yesterday, a lot of news came out yesterday. Number one was Apple now has a new product they're calling the Creator Studio. Is that what it is? Which is a subscription-based, how did that happen, thing. And frankly, I'm blaming Alex Lindsay for this one. He gets a job at Apple, and immediately they start selling subscriptions. And then also Elon Musk is not selling you full self-driving anymore. Starting February, I think, you can only subscribe to full self-driving. Is subscriptions the end of all that is good? What say everybody? Jeff?
Yeah, words. I, for one, am happy.
Oh, yes, sorry to you, Jeff. Mr. Cohen.
I'm sure maybe I didn't even raise my hand, sorry. But that's how excited I am that Pixelmator is on the list only because I already bought it and own it, and that, of course, means that it's going to survive. The fear was that maybe it was going to be one of these things that gets absorbed and the functionality just kind of gets baked into photos, but we lose the app. So for Pixelmator alone, it's great news that it's going to survive as a standalone product and mature.
Help me out, Jeff. When did so I had not realized, I don't follow the news very often, even tech news. So when did Apple buy Pixelmator? Do we know that?
It's a year or two, roughly.
Okay. So everybody's on pins and needles. Is this going to be a thing or not?
Yeah, I mean, with really no definitive answer one way or the other.
Yeah,
so
Apple
that was the concern. And, I mean, there was definitely the cues because the Photos app, especially on Mac, has been getting more robust editing capabilities on some of the smart-ish stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting how Apple a lot of times will upgrade things very quietly. It's like, oh, I did not realize it did all that. Mr. Francis.
I'm generally not a fan of subscriptions, kind of hate them. But if the company reliably updates and brings new features and keeps things running, then I'm willing to pay for software that works and continues to grow. But if it's just a money grab, Apple's been in the market of making software to sell hardware, and it looks like maybe they're moving away from that and they want to sell software.
Yeah, I think what's going on, because I spent a lot of time looking into this yesterday, is that they are bringing more and more AI features into Final Cut. And in doing so, Apple is smart enough to realize that you can't give away the farm. You can't give things away that cost you real money. A lot of those AI features, I believe, and I'm just speculating, are tied to honest-to-goodness AI server time, and therefore it doesn't make any sense to sell you a product for $300 that has a bunch of ongoing costs that you can't control. If I am hammering that thing using the AI features, I'm sucking away at server time every day forever, but I've only paid this thing. So I think the subscription is tied to legitimate cost. Now, is it too much? Maybe, I don't know, whatever. But I tell you this, it's way, 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 way less than any Adobe subscription cost. It's like $13. So that's I think good news. Courtney.
Yeah, we know Apple really needs the money.
It's sad. It's sad. And I really hope, I mean, now that they brought Lindsay on, they got to pay him. So like I said, I'm blaming him.
Yeah, the subscription, it started years ago, and Adobe probably was one of the first ones to do the Creative Cloud, because they found that, like me, I bought a version of Adobe's, I think Photoshop, and full disclosure, I do own Adobe stock. But I'm still using Photoshop 7.1 from the 80s because I can put it on any machine that I own without having to pay an extra fee for that subscription. And I have many, many machines. I don't loan them out to anybody else, but I have a different machine I may be working on every day. And that's the only way to manage it with the people that do subscriptions, is to buy it outright. And that way I own it and can put it on any machine I want, as long as they don't do digital rights management that says, oh, you can only run it on one computer because we licensed it to you, not you, but your computer. So if your computer dies, there goes you got to buy a new license. Sorry. No, you have to move it. It's a nightmare. That's why I hate subscriptions. Intuit discovered this, because their software, Quicken, which was bought by millions of people, and, you don't really change your accounting very much from year to year. And so they found that people would buy one copy of Quicken and then use it for 12 years. So then they first started doing it where they would disable the link to your bank so that you couldn't download your transactions from your bank. Every 3 years, that would expire, and you had to buy a brand new copy of Quicken. There wasn't an upgrade price. And then they finally sold the company, and then they went to a subscription model where you have to buy a new version every single year. Otherwise, that's it. It's just a subscription. You don't own it, even though you own it.
What do you think, Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm a little divided. Subscriptions are good if the content you are actually subscribing to is something that you are using all the time. In this case, where they are trying to put some extra things into this, and I think a few of those things are AI compute. So for some of the added functionality that are put into the subscription, you actually get something in return. The problem is if you don't use it that often, the subscription model is not good, and it should probably also be staggered, so different tiers maybe. And another information that seems to be a little bit lost in this news flash, or this news information, is that if you would like to purchase the products like you have been able to do before, you can still do that. So you can purchase a Final Cut license and just have it forever.
I think that's quite interesting. They're not, as of now, they're not killing the past. You can still purchase Final Cut, and you can still use this is why I think it's tied to server time. You can still use the non-AI version, essentially, of Final Cut. But if you want the extended features, you have to subscribe to the subscription version of Final Cut. The one thing I don't know, and I'd be curious to find out, can you open a project back and forth between the subscription version of Final Cut and the non-subscription? Obviously, some features won't work, but can you do that? Mr. Cohen.
Yeah, and I will play devil's advocate. Generally speaking, I too have subscription fatigue because everyone wants to move to the subscription model, and Apple's been pushing it for many years now because they've seen that steady increase on that pie chart of overall revenue, just how much the subscription revenue accounts for. And I will say that what's nice about subscriptions is for tools that I don't use regularly, don't need or don't care to use, but need perhaps for a particular project or a particular client. I had a client where I was jumping into an editing project that was all Adobe stuff, which I don't use. And I didn't have to buy everything outright. I was able to just use a subscription. Same with this. You could jump in for a month, use the tools if you need to, and you don't have that huge upfront cost of buying everything. So that I like about it. But I also like, for something that I do use regularly, the ability to buy it. And one other thing I'll add, I mean, I think you're certainly right, Chris, about some of the AI features needing more server time. Of course, it's going to be Google's server time, right? But Apple's been different, right? Because they're also primarily a hardware company. So the motivation has been, we have all this awesome software and you need to buy our hardware to use our awesome software. So it's been a little bit different. And we all remember, probably it used to be the case you had to buy the OS updates. And then they finally realized, how about we give it away and then they'll buy the hardware.
So I think the real question about subscriptions is how quickly can you cancel it? And I'm going to tell you, I want to cancel this question so quickly. Marty.
I wonder if anybody's been keeping a running tab on all of our various subscription costs. I mean, not just in business, but in our personal life.
Yeah, it's called Rocket Money. You don't see the ads for that?
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
Subscription models, are good for the manufacturers because it provides ongoing revenue, which they use for continuous development. That's, not a bad thing, but for us, it's really raises our costs. I mean, if you can buy the software and then you can use it indefinitely for as long as it's useful to you, that's a good thing. You have licensed the software or the hardware, and you get to use it as you wish. But the subscription things, if the subscription product is something that you can use in development, but then the end product can then be used without the subscription, then, that's probably a good thing. The horrible part of it is, that software where you not only lose access to the software if you want to go back and modify it, but you also lose access to the end product because it just won't work without the subscription. Since this is Audio Day, we noticed this week that my DAW of choice, being Studio One, has now been rebranded by the new owners of being Fender, a musical instrument company. And so they've rebranded the product. It's now Fender Studio. And but I was just looking at how they're marketing it, and it's still the product itself is a one-time perpetual purchase, $200, which is a great price for a great product. And then there's an option for subscribing to an extras package for plugins and software and virtual instruments and stuff. So thank you, Fender. A lot of the add-ons that they've put into this new product are vendor specific in terms of guitar amplifier simulations and stuff like that. We'd be curious to see where it goes from here.
And Courtney.
Yeah, if you're talking about Apple, if you take a look at their chart of their income, iPhone makes up 56%, and look over here, services. Services is a growing part of their income, and that services is their 30% VIG off of software that everybody else writes. And they've typically Apple has always used their own software like Final Cut and their audio software to sell their hardware, which their hardware, as you saw from that chart, is only 7% of their income.
Are you saying let me finish. Let me finish
this thought. So if they see that their services is now accounting for a much, 2 to 3 times what they're making on hardware, maybe they should open their software up like Final Cut to cross-platform. And rather than trying to drive it to their hardware, which is just a small percentage of their income, they could make a whole lot more money if they opened up that editing software and charged for it as a subscription to anybody on any platform. There's an idea.
That'd be sweet. All right, let's kill this question. Courtney, what's the next one?
Coming in from New York City, David Brady asks, I am currently using SoundDesk and its virtual driver allows for matrix routing instead of using LoopBack. I want to expand to use Omnibus for inter and intra computer routing. What approach should I take and what gotchas lie ahead?
Mr. Francis.
So I've not used either of these software, but looking at it, SoundDesk allows routing and it's a virtual mixer. And then Omnibus is the Audiomovers product that does routing. And it's not clear from David's question if he just wants to do routing, but I would recommend if he doesn't need the mixing functions of SoundDesk, I would put away SoundDesk and go into Omnibus and build what you need to do from scratch, because the last thing you want is multiple matrix routing situations. That is a case that will cause much confusion down the road when you're trying to troubleshoot something. This is one of my problems with the X32 and trying to configure it with larger systems is it has a full matrix routing system that is not, to me, user intuitive. And then when you pair that with other routing systems, having multiple routers gets really confusing. So my first gotcha would be one router. If you're going to try Omnibus, put away SoundDesk, use Omnibus, and see if you can do everything you need to do.
Marty.
Yeah, I have concur with Jeff on that one. SoundDesk is primarily a software virtual mixer. And so if you're using that function, then by all means, use that. And SoundDesk, as you mentioned in your question, David, has built-in software routing, software and hardware routing. So you can send signals to and from applications within the computer as well as external sources. Yeah, I agree. I would not pile on top of that another routing system. But then how large is your network? How many computers are you routing between? Do all of them need virtual mixers, or are some of those computers simply sound sources running, music playback programs or video programs, player programs that you want to route to this mixer program? You might use the Omnibus on other computers for routing, but then just rely on SoundDesk for your main computer.
So, David, I think you're using SoundDesk as a mixer also. I would say from experience, and you know how I use SoundDesk, play with LoopBack. It's not that hard. I have shied away from using the internal, and when David's talking, for the record, when David's talking about the matrix, he's talking about pulling in individual applications into the mixer. That's what the internal SoundDesk router does. It allows you to tag in from individual apps. Try the LoopBack, and if you want any help, reach out to me. I'll help you. Courtney, next question.
Sorry, I had to find my mouse. John Foltz from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania asks, I'm teaching on Zoom due to an injury. A 20-seat lab gets my video on monitors and audio on speakers. Video from them is on PTZs on a Mac. Sound equals the Mac's internal microphone. Ooh, Woeful. What's a better audio workflow? I have mics and mixers available.
Marty.
Well, yeah, in a room that size, you don't want to use the internal microphone on a laptop. Oh, boy. This depends on...
I think he means other way around, though, right?
No. He's using the internal microphone on the laptop in the room. So
with the PTZs attached to, yeah.
Yeah, with PTZs attached. So, first question is, how permanent a solution do you want to provide in this room? Would remote contribution, remote teaching be something that would be an ongoing practice for this lab, whether it be you or other professors? If it's a temporary thing, I would consider putting a couple of shotgun microphones on tall stands in the room, in the front of the room, and using an auto mixer so that you don't have both of them on at one time, because that would just muddy things up. If this were going to be a more permanent solution, I would put one or more beamforming microphones hung from the ceiling, because you'll get much better audio that way. And that would be the way, that would be a really good solution for an ongoing permanent install.
Mr. Francis.
I think I would go with a single handheld mic, whether it's wireless, most likely, to just pass around to whomever has a question or a comment in the classroom. That keeps multiple people from trying to talk at once. And that got me thinking, you're going to need a wireless mic and receiver and then an audio interface. Is there a wireless mic, probably not a professional brand or professional model? Is there one that has just a USB output? And that could be a simple solution that could pass around.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer.
I'm hoping, first of all, John, I'm hoping it's not a long-term injury. I hope you're back soon. I would go for like a cheap handheld mic. Give one of the students the job of mic monitor, call it the talking stick. If you're holding the stick, you get to talk. I mean, yeah, you could put $20,000 worth of auto mixers and stuff, or you could just solve the problem. Guy.
Yeah, it depends on how far you want to go. The Zoom site actually has a number of different options. So if you're at home, they're seeing you, this is their view. Oh, wow, they got a nice view on these monitors. And in this link that I'll put in the chat, there's actually a microphone options. And of course, you're going to be looking at the ceiling. And right up here, I know, Marty, what is this up here? What is that? What do you see there?
It's a non-functional Starlink. They don't work.
The steerable array.
That would be a beamforming microphone, yeah.
Yes. Shure MXA 920 or Sennheiser Team Connector, the two. But these are about $4,000 or $5,000 a whack and require some heavy install. So there's some options. I'll put a link in the chat, and you can look them over at your leisure, and hopefully you get better soon.
Still leaning toward Jeff Francis's idea. Ronnie.
Yeah, so the easiest way to go is just to use a Shure SM58, send that around and have a cable going into an interface.
SM58 for scale.
Yeah, that's the 58 for scale. Another way to do it, a little bit more expensive, still easy. And I'm not sure if this lab is it has to be clean or if you actually can send things in between. In that case, the beamforming microphone in the ceiling is a much better solution. No one has to touch the microphone and everything is clean and good. In the case of the beamforming microphones in the ceilings, just beware that there are two brands that are really popular in this field. That's Shure and that's Sennheiser. I'm not going to say which one, but one of them does not automatically conform to the placement and has to be reprogrammed every time. Ask me how I know. A little bit more easygoing system is the one from DJI. It can be used for everything. Just add the receiver to your USB-C input on your Mac, and you're good to go with up to 4 microphones. This system, DJI Mic 3, can have up to 4 senders. That is kind of cool. You have to do some internal mixing in the machine before sending it to Zoom, but that is really cool.
Ronnie, do you know if that receiver would possibly just send all 4 mics gang together out back to Zoom, so he could I think you can pepper those things around the room?
The way I did it was to just use audio hijack and just merge them together. So that's cool, kind of cool. Yeah. So that is the 2-3 things I would think of. And of course, beamforming microphones in the ceiling are really good. Just beware the thing that normally does not all of the brands are automatically sensing where the people are sitting. So you can, you miles may worry on that one.
Courtney, what's your idea?
I kind of disagree with the pass the microphone around, especially if it's a wired mic. If this is a class, you probably have a limited amount of time, and that's going to increase the, if you have a Q&A and you're having to wait for the microphone to get from the left side of the room to the right side of the room, that's going to increase the amount of time that it takes to do any responses from the from the students. I kind of lean toward the beamforming, but a couple of things to think about. They're listening over speakers, so you got to deal with feedback. Zoom has a pretty good means of handling echo cancellation and feedback. The beamforming, if you want to go cheaper, there's a TOA, which is a Japanese manufacturer. They've been in the microphone and conference, PA stuff for years, with a steerable microphone array that has a little box that it hooks up to, and it can handle a room that size. So check out the prices of that. It may be a little bit cheaper than the more known brands out there. But that, I think, would be a more hands-free way to go, and it would allow anybody to chime in and even to, have somebody else on the other side of the room say, but wait, you're wrong, at the same time, and to challenge somebody else without having to wait for that microphone, kind of like I had to wait to be called on.
Okay, Marty, do you have anything to add? Anything new?
Yeah, the catchbox. If you want something really portable and easy to use, this is, wait for it. You can connect 4 of these things from a single receiver. Here it comes, a little bit longer, so they have these pendants too.
Oh, that's awesome. And the person who catches
it, microphone in a foam box, you just throw it around.
I love it. That's the solution right there. All right, next question.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Zach Stallsmith from Chautauqua, New York, asked, the public school I work at has an X32 in the auditorium, Behringer, and soon the audio sound system will be set up with 5.1 surround sound. How can we utilize the X32 with surround sound? Mixbuses, DCA groups? ?
Marty?
Okay. Well, the X32, was designed way before surround, immersive sound, and it was not designed to do that. However, you can use the various mix buses and matrices to create, various outputs. And you can also use the mixing station app, which within the app itself allows you to configure surround sound outputs. There's, it's a section of the app itself, and it works within the app, so the app has to be running. You don't have to use its interface to mix, but it has to be running to have the mix buses linked. But it's not an easy thing to do. The X32 was just not built for surround sound mixing. Chris, you're muted.
Oh, Mr. Fenwick. Wake up, Chris.
I'm muted. I was saying, Courtney, are you okay? Courtney, go ahead, Courtney. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay. Coming in from Lewis, Delaware, Walt Palmer asking for recommendations for an amplifier to increase the analog audio signal from a computer to a mixer line input.
This sounds super dangerous. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, so the easy thing to do is to think of this as a problem with types of signals or levels, or if you're using the 3.5 millimeter phone output, it sometimes don't give you the expected results. So one of the easiest way to fix that is by adding something like the Scarlett, which is a low-cost budget interface, which the output is actually working pretty good, and you have a volume control, and it's easy, and it's pretty you got some functionality for. But the thing I'm actually wanting to show you is something from a really cool company called Sonect. They have this magic thing called audio interface built into no more than this plug. Let me see if we can get it into focus. So this plug is actually the interface. It's a 32
Wait, is that XLR male and female, and then somewhere out of that comes a USB also? It'll cover your
sends,
eye.
it connects to the computer with the USB-C, and it outputs the audio on left and right inside these, and they have also output transformers built into the XLR plugs. And since this is a geeky show, I can unscrew that and show it to you guys because we love to geek. So this is the transformer.
That's the whole audio interface in the connector?
Yeah, just look at these colors. Oh, this is only the transformer. The interface is actually in the USB part of the...
That's amazing. This just makes it too confusing for kids that didn't know how hard it was to plug an XLR into a computer 30 years ago.
Just look at these amazing ports they developed. So it's also a locking mechanism with a magnet, and it's so sexy.
Okay, Ronnie, let's move on. Marty.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a USB audio interface without the hardware. It's just the cable that breaks out the USB to analog audio. Makes it simple. But if you, I'm a little concerned here because if you, I'm assuming that you're taking the headphone output, the mini plug output, into a mixer directly, and if you're not getting enough signal on it, that tells me that you're using the wrong kind of cable. Remember that the headphone output on any computer is left-right stereo, but the XLR input on a mixer is not stereo. It is a balanced audio. And so what happens is if you are having a mono source or even a stereo source with a lot of mono content, when you take it into the mixer, it's going to disappear because the left and right are being canceled. That's the type of input. A balanced input does that. It takes the pin 2 and pin 3, puts them out of phase. That's the way balanced inputs work. And that cancels all mono information. So you need to get a different connector or a different cable if you want to use that headphone output that, just like Ronnie showed, would have a tip ring sleeve mini plug at one end and 2 XLRs on the other end, and you will use one or both of them into 1 or 2 channels. The other thing you could do is another type of cable would be to have that tip ring sleeve mini plug at one end and 2 tip sleeve, 2-wire 1/4-inch connectors and plug them into the auxiliary inputs. Either way you go, you don't want to use, a cable with one connector at one end, one connector at the other end, because they are just not compatible.
Courtney.
Yeah, something must be wrong here because most line inputs should be able to have enough gain. But if you're talking about using the headphone output, sometimes computers have the ability to sense what's plugged into them, or you can tell the drivers what's plugged into it. So it either makes it a fixed signal level or a variable signal level. If it's got a variable signal level, you can crank up the output out of that mini jack or whatever you're using for the output of your computer to the mixer. If you still don't get enough gain, another possibility is to, if it's designed for headphone outputs, it's designed to drive a low impedance load, and the line input may be looking for a higher impedance load, depending upon whether it's a balanced line or an unbalanced line input to your mixer. So one thing you might try is going into the microphone input, put a 10 dB pad on it, which a lot of times, or crank the input level on that microphone input down, and then see if you have enough gain. You're going to increase the amount of noise, self-noise on that channel. But if you don't turn up the input gain too high, but at about the middle level, the output gain, of your computer, about in the middle of its gain range, and then adjust the microphone level with the input signal level down quite a ways, and then the main mixer fader should be able to give you enough gain to handle that signal level, and then the impedances will be closer to matching where you won't get some kind of a skewing of your frequency response by the impedance mismatch. So that's something you could try without buying any external hardware, which putting another preamplifier in line with it is just going to add additional noise to the signal channel chain that's already there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to recommend that you take a look at, Mickey has a video that he hasn't made yet, but I'm going to encourage him to make it, all about gain staging. So check out Mickey's video. We're going to call it something like gain staging in the 21st century. What do you say, Mickey? Let's work on that video. Courtney, will you please say the next question?
Why, certainly. Jeff Veely from Henderson, Texas asks, I'm looking to pick up a new budget-friendly and easy-to-use 14-channel analog mixer for light use with local events and rentals. What models would you recommend?
Ronnie?
Yeah. So everyone that knows me knows that I left the analog mixer way back, more than 15 years ago. So, of course, you can go with a budget-friendly analog mixer, and there are probably a few other in the panels that will be coming up with someone like that, like Mackey's or Yamaha's or whatever you would like. I'm going to do the shameless plug of one of the really cool ones that I have been using a lot lately, and that is the Allen Heath SQ series. This is a really powerhouse, and it's very easy to use. It has two modes. It has the easy use mode and it has the advanced use mode. And in easy use mode, you just choose the channel and say what's going to be used for. If it's a keyboard or a voice or a male or female, etc. There is everything is pre-programmed. It has 8 inputs of normal XLRs, and it has 8 inputs of dual use and high impedance, in addition to the 2 extras, which is just line levels. And it has 6 outputs. It has a USB interface. You can use it to connect to your DAW, or you can use that to do submixes. It also do internal recording, and it even has support for a foot switch, and you can also connect it to network, so you can control it via network. So no more analog mixes for me, and yeah, I will keep buying these small gadgets instead.
Jeff Francis?
Yeah, I don't know if that fits in the easy to use category. I think he's probably looking for a standard analog mixer where he's actually got a fader and a mute button for everything, so that it's easy and visible for anyone to walk up and turn something up louder or shut it off. So probably take a look at some basic Mackie or Yamaha analog mixers. Sweetwater's got a whole list of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I miss the old days when you just say, "Oh, just go get a Mackie, you'd be done." Courtney?
Yep, I concur with Mr. Francis. I believe that digital mixers are great. They're very versatile. They have, really flexible routing, but that's not something you want to put off on somebody who's never seen that mixer before in an event if you're going to rent it out or use it for a local event or a rental. You don't want anybody trying to face that learning curve of a digital mixer. Analog mixers, and of course, if you're talking about cheap are inexpensive, budget-friendly, as we like to call it here, is, of course, the Behringers. Now, I don't know if this would have enough inputs, and you say 14-channel. A lot of these smaller analog mixers have 14 channels, but they only have 5 or 6, microphone input preamps like this one does. This is like $109. And everything's there on the surface. You got EQ on each channel input, easy to access. You just grab the knob and turn it on whichever channel you need to. They have some, of course, Behringer makes some larger panels. That Xenix is about $100, and $109, and it has fairly good mic preamps. The Xenix mic preamps are pretty good. Also, the Mackies, the higher end Mackies, have good mic preamps, and of course the Yamahas, but you're jumping up into another price class once you go up to those analog mixers.
Yeah, I think the key thing in Jeff's question there is local events and or rentals. So who are the people that are going to be sitting behind this? And yes, I agree with Ronnie, but you gotta remember. Courtney, will you please read the next question?
I will. Jack Cannon in Phoenix, Arizona asks, what wireless systems do you recommend for E&G type interviews in 2026? I'm looking for a system to pair with my MD46 going into an FX6. Options we already have are DJI Mic 2s, Sennheiser G4s. What else should we look at for clean, dependable audio?
What do you think, Guy?
Hire a sound guy. Yeah. So audio is half your project. And if you already dropped $8,200 on your camera, and I'm pretty sure you have 2 or 3 of these, half of your budget should be spent on audio. So what I'm going to say may sound really expensive to a lot of people, but if you go look at anybody who's hired on a day rate, which is about $750 to $1,000 a day, and then you layer on equipment, so each piece after a certain kit fee is going to be, $20,000 worth of kit and 20 years of knowledge is the way that I put it. And if you have an MD46, you're going to want to plug on transmitter, and so that'll go on the bottom. And then how long does that become? And how much I know you're out in the
That's
boonies,
almost
so
2 bananas long, isn't it?
Yeah. So banana for scale. That's about how big it's going to be. Or do you want to go with a all-in-one design? So instead of having that thing on the bottom, you get Electro, or you get a Shure or something like that. So let's go back to the camera, and then let's look at some packages real quick. So the sticker shock for some people, but okay, let's go down to the Lark, something like the Hollyland for $95. But then we get into the big boy stuff. For the handheld plus a lav, you're looking at about $7,897 before the bag, before powering it. So you need batteries. You're going to need some kind of battery distribution system. So that's the other part of this is how much battery life do you need to go out in the field, and what are the frequency ranges that you need with these digitals? You can get away with a lot more than you could in the past. So that's the other option is in the past, we had to go with frequency A, B, C, 941 with Electro. So nowadays, you get these digitals, and it's much easier to hop spectrums if you're in like New York City or somewhere where there's a lot of
Do they
RF.
still call
But
that
I would
frequency agile? Is that what they call that? Something like that?
No, I can't remember what the name of the new spectrum where it's able to go across all those spread spectrum or something like that. Maybe Marty will know the answer to that one. But the other part that I was getting to before you just jumped right in and threw me completely. I had this all laid out, and then Chris goes in and just knocked me off my game.
I didn't say I was good at this. I just said I would host.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you hosting and stepping up. The other part is the use market. So if it were me today and I didn't want to drop $7,897, there is a lot of used Electro because people did upgrade to this new digital stuff. So there's nothing wrong with the old stuff. In fact, if you're out in the boonies, it's going to be beat up on anyway. So you may as well just get like an old frequency locked model that's in frequency A or something like that that's been tossed around, and you can get it for half the price. There's also the next grade up from that Sennheiser G4. There's some 500 series that's also used that is more robust, longer range, and you might want to look at those if you're looking at eBay. The last one that I would look at is these videos like this guy, so you see what's all inside of the kit. So there's complete audio bag tours like this on and this thing's half an hour. So I mean, don't discount what these guys do for a living. This is 20 years of experience, because the worst thing is getting back and not having good audio. So look at all this knowledge. I mean, you could hire a guy that'll just come out, you pay him his day rate, and you're guaranteed to get good sound with time code. So I would say hire the pro if you can, and not buy all this stuff and try to put 20 years of knowledge in a couple months.
What do you say, Ronnie?
Yeah, so we used a lot of these new ones from Sennheiser. The EWDP is called. That's a UHF true transmitter, and comes in different packages. And what you see on the left side there is the actual receiver with the built-in battery pack. You can charge it via USB-C. So this is kind of a semi-professional version. It has really long range and pretty decent audio. And it also comes with plug-in transmitter or standalone microphones. so that you can have all-in-one microphones, and the heads on the microphones can also be changed if you are not going to use your excellent MD46. So this is just to show that there are so many products in this market, and this is a little bit above the normal Wi-Fi type of like the DJI and similar microphones. This is really using a professional frequency band, so it will get you where you would like to be. And the question is, how much money are you going to spend? And another thing with these ones are that you can coordinate them using your phone via a long-range Bluetooth, so you can have full monitoring over all the aspects of from battery levels, etc., on your phone, and just keep an eye on the phone, and you will see when batteries are about to go out.
We're running out of time. Marty, anything to add?
Yeah. So, if you're doing ENG audio, which I did for many, many years, there are no second chances, right? There are no second chances to get your shot, get your audio. So you want to have something that is bulletproof and reliable. And the most basic criteria that you want to look at is what frequency band is your wireless system working on? Because that is your link. If you don't have a connection, you don't have audio. So I wouldn't never, ever, 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 not in a million years, no chance, rely on anything that is using the Wi-Fi band. 2.4 gig is just a non-starter. So that rules out the DJI. The Sennheiser G4 would be the absolute minimum system, minimum quality, minimum cost system I would use. It works in the TV band like every other professional wireless system, and then you go up from there.
Courtney, could you please read the next question?
Yes, this one comes in from Paul Waldhus in Austin, Texas. Paul says, can Courtney describe how he changed his Atem Mini to the Rodecaster Video S? I have the same devices in front of me now.
Let's see. Who should answer this? Let's see. Courtney. Do you have any input on this?
I do. When I got the Video S a week or so ago, I looked to see the inputs. It only has 3 inputs, HDMI inputs on it. And the other problem I ran into is it doesn't do still captures, which drives me nuts. Maybe they'll add it in future firmware, like the Atem did. You could always grab a frame and store it inside the Atem's memory where it stays and never to come out again. So I've been unable to transfer those frame captures like this one where I'm invisible
that's cool.
into the new Rodecaster Video S. So I thought, well, I'll just take the USB output out of my old Atem and feed it into the USB camera input on the Video S. And if you look at the back of the Video S here, it's this input over here, number 4, the USB input, which can be either a camera or a microphone. Well, there's a problem with that, in that the problem being that the Video S is very, very picky about its inputs, and it has to be a YUV uncompressed webcam type signal, which is apparently something the Atem Mini does not output over its USB output. So I got nothing coming in when I tried to connect it directly. So I went the route of going to one of these, which is, I tried another one. I had a Canex one that didn't work. So then I ordered this one from Amazon for $18, which is an HDMI to USB-C. It's supposedly webcam compliant, supposedly works with Switch, PS4, OBS, Windows, Mac, Zoom, all that stuff. And it almost worked. I plugged it in and I took the output of the Atem Mini over its HDMI output into this, and then I plugged this into the USB input to use that 4th input on the Rodecaster. But alas, no joy. The video would come up and then go black, come up and go black, come up and go black. It was like a little flashing sign, and no amount of changing the frame rates or anything else would allow it to work correctly. So I ended up taking the HDMI output and going to one of the HDMI inputs using up one of my precious 3 HDMI inputs with the HDMI output on the Atem, and that works fine. And I use the output of my computer, which was on, one of the secondary outputs on my main computer, which was into number 3 in, and I moved that to the WIXLW capture card, and it does work fine. But apparently the output, the webcam output of the Atems is not compliant with very many things. Computer can deal with it, but something like the Rodecaster chokes on it. So be forewarned that you may have trouble using that webcam input for any kind of output over USB from the Atem.
Courtney's user guide video will be posted sometime next week. Courtney, next question.
Comes in from Douglas Carmichael. Douglas says, I'm running an ultra-low audio buffers on an M2 Mac Pro, Pro Mac Mini into an into an Allen Heath SQ5 over a class-compliant USB and occasionally get a one buffer beep, basically a real-time buffer stutter. What's the best way to eliminate that?
Mr. Francis?
Increase the buffer. Go from ultra low to just low.
Yeah, sounds pretty smart. Courtney, could you please read the next question?
Samfunsak Darji. Don't know where he is, but he asks, Hi, panelists. One of my Shure SM58's volumes sound very low. What could have gone wrong? Thanks.
Marty?
Well, the SM58 is a fairly simple dynamic microphone, which has a mechanical diaphragm, much like how a diaphragm and voice coil works on a loudspeaker. So a diaphragm, then a voice coil, and then wires to a transformer, and then the output. And that's pretty much it. So possibilities are that the diaphragm itself, which is a plastic material that's stretched over the voice coil, maybe that got wet or gummy or dirty. Or one of the wires could possibly have gotten corroded or come loose at the output of the voice coil or at the transformer or at the connector. And that's pretty much it.
Courtney?
Yeah, and there are a couple of things. That is a balanced output. So if you're only using one side of that transformer and the ground, that can give you half the signal level coming out. So make sure your cable is wired correctly and that you have the pin 2 and pin 3 of the output of that microphone connected to a balanced input on your mixer. So if you're going into an unbalanced output, that can give you half the sound output. It'll still work, but won't sound as loud. The other thing is, if it's the one with the switch on it, some of them have a on-off switch on them. Make sure that switch isn't dirty. Switch it back and forth, open it up and spray it a little bit with some contact cleaner. That could also be a problem with your sound making it out of the microphone and into your preamp.
What's the next question, Courtney?
From someone named Jeff Francis here on the panel, and from Columbia, South Carolina. Companion launching a Mac shortcuts using a run shell local command. Works on Mac Pro, but not on a Mac Mini. Config transfer from MacBook Pro. Same operating system, same companion version, same security and privacy settings. What to check next?
So before we let Jeff answer this, I'm just going to say, everybody's going to say you shouldn't have done the configure transfer from the MacBook Pro. That's my guess. So let's see what Jeff has to say.
I tried building it from scratch too. Didn't work.
I'm still hung up on
It's a very simple command.
Sounds like a great band name, Wet, Gummy, or Dirty. But yes, I mean, that is certainly the first instinct is that's what happens is you can get some of these unexpected errors. So, I don't know if you know, Jeff, where it is failing. In other words, do you know which, if any, steps are running and where it is failing? That's the trickiest thing. And I have some kind of complicated nested shortcuts that run AppleScript.
It is a one-line command. It is a one-line command.
But that is launching
Run shell
the
local,
shortcut.
name of the app. That's all it does.
And is the
It's
shortcut
the name of the
running?
shortcut. The shortcut runs fine, yeah.
So
If I
what's
go in
not
shortcuts and
happening?
hit go. Well,
so if you go into shortcuts,
companion does not launch.
Right. And you can, so do you know if you can, for instance, launch using the same shell commands, launch other things other than a shortcut?
Not been able to launch anything
Right.
from
So
that companion instance.
Okay. And this is where the security also has gotten more aggressive depending on which version of macOS you're on. You kind of, I've had things where you've kind of had to back it out. In other words, remove things from their permissions and execute for the first time. And some of those permissions you probably know are some of the ones where you can't even manually add something. You need the app to kind of initiate that request, and they've gotten really aggressive. There's other things you can do in terms of I've had to use AppleScript to nest shell commands where I couldn't execute a shell command, but the AppleScript in turn could, because it has different permissions.
What do you think, Ronnie?
So I'm kind of think of two small things that I have stumbled upon doing the exact same thing. One is use absolute path, so no relative parts in the path. That's number one. The other one is to make sure that the installation, because it sounds like it could be permission things, and I'm wondering if you have installed BitFocus Companion with the same user, whereas you are logged in and actually try to run this shortcut. So if it's installed in another admin account, it could be that the permissions are messed up.
I'm just going to say I have no idea what any of this means, but I haven't talked enough in this show. So one of the things that I like to do, Jeff, when I'm having troubleshooting things, I call it jiggling the handle. Sometimes you look at a control and it says it's on or it says it's off and it should be working, but it doesn't. And just recently I had something where it was on, it should have been working. I turned it off, I turned it back on, and sure enough, it was working. Let's go to this next question.
From Rajan Chandil in Los Angeles, California. Asked for audio level checks on office hours. What is the recommended process to test levels for office hours and after hours?
Ooh. So I'll just say, Guy has something to say. I'm going to say, if you go into after hours, I'm pretty sure there's an audio meter in there. And what you want to do is when you're talking, you want to be at -23, -24 LUFS. So that's a great way to check it. It's pretty much almost always open. It's a good place to go and check. Guy, what do you say?
Yeah, so in the show for the pre-show, a lot of people don't realize that that there's two gatekeepers as you come in to be a panelist on office hours. There's the PSC check area where they'll give you some rough mic checks, and I'm not sure what meters that they're watching inside of there, but then when you actually go into the show, like right now I can see it says OH meters and they're bouncing around, so even during the show you're getting these same meters that we have from the Waves plugin, and it's put into OBS, and that same thing is in after hours, so you can test there, and it's appropriate just to go in there 24 hours a day and just start talking and watch your levels bounce around, and the target is -24 LUFS for this show.
Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm just going to say, if you're going to do this on your own without being connected to Zoom rooms that are provided by office hours, you can do this by installing a for free app called Julian. I'll drop the link in the chat so that you can do it on your own, even if you're not connected to anything.
Mr. Gooden, next question, please.
Why, thank you, Mr. Fenwick. Jeff Francis on the panel here from Columbia, South Carolina, says, as a panelist on today's show, I'm having a strange audio problem. Opening certain websites like Catchbox, Audiomovers, etc. interrupts Zoom's return audio. Zoom in goes to the Blackmagic Design Atem Mini Pro, and Zoom outs go to the AirPods Pro in his ears.
Mr. Cohen?
You talk about a tough thing to discover and find is looking for those patterns, jiggling those handles like Chris talked about. So I'd be willing to bet that at some point your Unity Intercom client has updated. And if you go into the settings for your Unity Intercom client, you may discover that Enable Echo Cancellation is now checked and turned on. And if you turn that off, problem solved.
No, I had that one 2 weeks ago, and that was giving me level changes. So it is off.
Courtney?
Now, I don't know nothing about them Apple products, as we all know. So this is just a shot in the dark. Now, as I
here
understand,
I go.
Yeah, but I'm going to comment anyway. All right. Yeah. We don't the AirPods Pro accept 5.1 or simulated 5.1 surround, and perhaps I'm just thinking here is that one of those websites you opened suddenly goes into its 5.1 or something, which the AirPods are not configured correctly for. So it's switching output modes from just plain stereo, or if you're only using one in your ear, which I only see one in your ear, maybe it's switching to some type of surround type driver, and that may be creating problems, interrupting your audio because it's changing modes and you only have one turned on.
Yeah, try putting the other earbud in, Jeff. I wonder if that would change it.
Can you hear me
So
now?
I'll need you to keep talking. Someone.
Okay, I'll keep talking. I have no problem talking. So I'm gonna just say this. We're gonna kind of wrap the show, but then we're gonna go back to Jeff and see if his audio has changed at all. So we do this all the time. Please watch. If you're curious about what mornings we have shows, go to officehours.global, and somewhere there might be a better URL I could give you, but officehours.global, and you can see the schedule of when all the shows are. We do have that Telelic traversal. And by the way, if you show Rodney's camera, you'll notice that an SM58 is almost the same as a banana. So this is episode 2122. We've traveled. If you had to fly around the world to get all these questions answered, it would have cost you 27,000 miles, 48,000 kilometers, and 222 million bananas or SM58s for scale. Jeff, did that fix your audio at all, going into both ears?
So going into both ears, I went back to the catchbox site, and all of you shut off. But then I went into my AirPods settings, and I turned off head tracking, turned off spatial audio. So it was a spatial audio setting. When I was getting triggered by the audio on the catchbox site, was shutting off the audio from you.
Well, there you go. That's our show today.
So we all learned something new.
We learned what an Apple expert Courtney is. So if you have any more Apple questions, please come back and ask Courtney. He's the expert. Thanks for listening. Roll the credits. We're out of here. Good night. That was the best wrap of a show ever. We should do it like that all the time.
That's
Should have literally thrown the mic down.
Mic drop.
Not even a drop. It's a mic chuck. Thanks for letting me do that, guys. I hope I didn't screw it up too much. And thank you so much for all the guys in the back end. You do an amazing job.
There'll be notes on this meeting, Chris. You'll be in meetings about meetings.
It's the RFI.
I'm going to get a call from Lindsay saying, stop mentioning my Apple job. Bye, everybody.
Adios, amigos. We'll see you in after hours.